What's going on there, Jerry? It's like it's just you and I right now. Let me know if you can hear me, please. Hey, Bill, can you hear me? Hey, Lake, can you hear me? Thanks. Everybody have a good week. Awesome. It sure is, brother. Hey, Bob. Well, I guess y'all saw the continued attack on law enforcement today. Hey, Danny. Good to see you there, Southern Tennessee. It's I think it's all part of the plan. The chaotic streets and all that jazz. It's a real shame. We're going to end up with no cops. It's coming. I mean, why would you want to be one right now? I mean, honestly, think about it. There's a lot safer ways to make a living. Well, they popped two New York NYPD officers that responded to a domestic. Thanks, Lake. Appreciate you being here. Hi, Priscilla. Yeah, it's I mean, you had a baby shot in the face, you know. It's just Aoki. I mean, the amount of evil that's out there is just uncanny. Hey, copycat. But just a little shelf update in my area. I went to two different Wally Worlds. Hey, Jerry, two different Wally Worlds about 5 miles apart. And they were completely full. So again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but this disparity in product availability, state to state, region to region, town to town, is something I just can't wrap my arms around and figure out. But I'm thankful that it's there. You know, I'm hoping people take advantage of it, but something tells me they're not. Um, but yeah, scary times. Yeah, it's just so weird, Jerry. Like I said, I can't. I've asked around, and nobody can really put a finger on why the shells are so different in different areas. I don't get it. I mean, it's so full. They were putting, one thing that's usually a little bit low in our area is coffee creamer. But it's it was so full this week that they had the little like the little waist high freezers out like by the cheese section and all that. It was full of creamer, extra creamer, everything from French vanilla to sugar free, this and that, to cinnamon toast crunch flavor to cookie dough. It was crazy. Wow, Jerry, that's crazy. Wow. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Maybe people around my area just aren't figuring it out yet. I don't know. I mean, the stores are always pretty full, not overrun or uh, congested, but yeah, the pet foods were semi low, but I wouldn't even say low really. They were just somewhat, gone through in my area. But toilet paper, all the paper products were full. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Huh. Well, as we all know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of rumors and innuendo out there every minute of the day. It seems like, especially now with the what's going on worldwide. Um, oh yeah, I'm thinking they're going to get way more expensive copycat, especially if the balloon goes up for real. I did a video on it earlier today, and I guess I'll just go ahead and start since we're pretty close to 10:30. But I understand from a report that we get half of our oil imports from Russia. Did y'all know that? Now this is since 45 left. Were y'all aware of that? Because I was not aware that we got. I knew that we got some petroleum from Russia, but I didn't know it was 50%. And that's a big game changer. But the purpose of tonight's live, I wanted to just talk about a lot of stuff, but um, you know, with the amount of things that are happening and the amount of time that Russia has had to strategize and put people and equipment into place unfettered, of course it's their land. I guess they can do what they want, but the amount of pushback that they received sure did come late, and as far as we know. Exactly, Lake. Yeah, I heard that too, Bob. Wow. I think people are starting to figure out that we just need to do the herd immunity thing and do our best and live our lives. But Putin's been able to place equipment and personnel in these strategic locations for weeks or months now. I'm glad you liked it, Animus. But it makes me feel like something's up. It makes me feel like maybe there's something else going on, and maybe, maybe we're somehow as a government complicit, i.e. allowing it to go on because of whatever reason. And again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think this is a plausible theory, because why, if you were going to legitimately attack an enemy, okay, why wouldn't you want the element of surprise? Good question, right? So you don't have the element of surprise anymore. You have had all this time to organize and place people and equipment, and now I hear they're going up into Belarus. Probably already have a avenue through there to do that. Yeah, that's another threat, Bill. Definitely. And so you have to ask the question, why? Right? Why are they allowed to do this, or why have they been given so much rope to do this? And I've listened to Putin's speech recently and his reasoning for doing what he's doing. And I can't say that I really disagree with the man's reasoning. We have been involved in conflicts, legitimately and illegitimately, in my opinion, for decades. And he is basically at a poker table and he's calling our bet. Hey, ETP, good to see you, man. And we have been telegraphing our military strategy and our capabilities for decades in different theaters in the Middle East. We've been showing everybody what we do and how we do it. You don't think they've had people in there gathering intel for decades? I know exactly what our capabilities are. Nothing's a secret anymore. It's just not. During the Cold War, we were in some serious stuff. I was stationed in Germany. My first job in the Army was I was in a nuclear capable artillery unit, and we had 8-inch howitzers, and we were a nuclear capable self-propelled howitzers, and 8-inch rounds, 200-pound rounds, and we had nuclear capability. We had a special weapons team that could assemble nukes and fuse them and all that stuff. And it was a serious time, but we kept our mouth shut. We were obligated, for self-preservation reasons, to keep our damn mouth shut. Hey, Simon, good to see you. And that's true also, ETP, you're right. I mean, whenever governments get in a jam, and I hear Putin's in trouble domestically, kind of like Potato is. And what do leaders do when they get in trouble? A lot of times they go start a conflict somewhere. And it's something to consider. I think that just the amount of leeway that they've been given to do what they want from the Russian perspective is pretty telling to me. And it either we have some really, really sloppy intel, or I think this government's somehow complicit in some of this stuff. I don't know specifically what it could be. I'm sure they all got dirty pictures on one another, But if you go back and watch some of these interactions from reporters and Potato, when he is asked about this specific the specific likelihood of an invasion, he always is chuckling and laughing and snickering and giggling. I don't get that. I mean, I know the man's unstable and not in his right mind, most likely, but that's just evil and sick. So is he clueless as can be, or is he just that nonchalant about the likelihood of many people getting killed? Yes, he is. Putin is ruthless. That's right, Simon. All the woke generals are in charge now. All the top woke brass is in charge. And that's one thing that, in my opinion, that we have really, really screwed up with. And that's taking our eye off the ball. You know, we used to be really good at moving stuff around the world and killing people. That's what we were good at. That sounds bad, but that's what the military was designed to be, a blunt instrument. It was never designed to be a scalpel. It was designed to be a blunt instrument to kill. And, I just think that there's so there's so much wavering uh, from what I can see by the administration that it's just going to further embolden Putin and Xi and Iran, which brings me to another point. You've got apparently Iran, China, and Russia getting together to form some sort of alliance. And if you want to throw the NOCOs in there, you can. Okay, just say you do. Well, I can tell you who's going to jump into that real quick, and because of the threats that have been made, and that's Israel. And we're about the only friend that Israel has, unfortunately. And we're not a very good friend. When it suits us, we're their friend, but we're typically not their friend. And you remember what Jesus said about his people, right? Take care of my people. But and also you had today, this one kind of was perplexing to me. We had Russian Navy using the English Channel for passage, and the Royal Navy escorted them through it. Process that one. Exactly, Lake. Exactly. If you start getting Iran chirping and making moves, maritime, keep running their mouths, and it starts to get hot, don't count Israel out. They got to do what they got to do. It's like I said, from a government perspective and a defense perspective, we always say we're Israel's friend, but somehow we're not always the best of friends, especially the left. Well, you hear that Russia and China have no love for one another, but I don't know. Yeah, Simon, that was weird, wasn't it? Why would the Royal Navy escort a Russian, multiple Russian vessels through the English Channel during a time of a possible Hot conflict. I don't get it. That's what further makes me ask why. We aren't the same America as we were back in the Cold War. People are different. Thanks, copycat. um, things are different, and I'll admit it. When I was young and in the army, I wasn't a totally mature savvy American voter. I mean, I was just wearing the flag and doing my job, and I'm glad I did it. But we did some messed up stuff back then too. Oh, I want to say Newsmax, Bob, and then on several internet outlets that are pretty reliable from my perspective. It's just I think one of them was TNS, and then Agenda Free was also one. I think I really like it. Excuse me. I really like Agenda Free. If y'all don't watch that channel, I really like that channel. It's pretty good. I agree with you, Animus. Totally engineered. Hey, Zombie. Good to see you. Totally engineered. I agree, Animus. And old Anthony Fauci's right in the middle of it. I hope you're right, Red. But man, every time I turn around, this government's doing something more amateurish than the day before. But all these threats that Russia's made, all these threats, and the Royal Navy escorts Russian Navy vessels through the English Channel. That'd be like us escorting them through the Panama Canal. Crazy. So again, I ask the question, you know, why? Yeah, he certainly is formidable, isn't he, Bob? I mean, I don't, again, it's just something I've been thinking about. I'm like, well, all these other things are going on, all these other anomalies or lack of attention being played, you know, uh, towards the situation, and they just can't seem to come to any agreement. And let's face it, Ukraine has been the stepping stone for a lot of governments, and of course, Potato lined his pockets through Ukraine, and his son did too, among other places, I'm sure. But Ukraine's been crapped on for decades. You know, yeah, like that's pretty good. Yeah, they did have some people out in Simon. That German Bundeswehr had soldiers in Fort Bliss, El Paso too. Okay. All right, Teresa. And you know what a red leg is then. Yeah, Bob, I'm thinking the same thing. That's what I'm saying. I think conspiracies may play into all this stuff. I mean, I said they got dirty pictures on everybody. That's how this game is played. Why is Biden always snickering and laughing when somebody asks him about Russia and Ukraine? He's always laughing about it. Like, oh, you people are just asking stupid questions, and just totally. All right, East Tennessee. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. I mean, just think about it. It's not uncommon for that stuff to happen, blackmail and other stuff, right? Yeah, you're right, Jerry. He is, but I mean, the dude is so cavalier. But you know, even for a career politician, the man just seems totally amateurish to me. But anyway, yeah, I'm not real comfortable with it, and there's tons of course, there's all sorts of intel flying around and reports this, reports that. Um, and I really, I'm of the opinion that I really don't think, and I'm not just my opinion, I could be off base, could be wrong. I don't know, Simon, if they're still there. But yeah, that's true, zombie. Okay, Lake, thanks. Um, I don't know. I just, it's like always an excuse. Um, you know, it'll somehow be turned around on Trump. Um, it'll always be that money, power, greed. Now I have heard that Vladimir is a pretty staunch Christian, even though he's hardcore and cutthroat. But I have no idea if that's true. Um, a lot of people are of the opinion that Vladimir's trying to right the ship worldwide. So, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to, Bob. Are you talking to me? Well, you saw how powerful the swamp was when 45 said he was going to clean it up. Oh, okay. I got you now, Bob. No, man, I can't make that. I got to go out of town to the other direction. But it shows you the breadth and the strength of the cabal, and the powers that be, and they did what they had to do to make sure that he wasn't gonna get reelected. And again, uh, there's always going to be a need for mail-in voting with the left in charge. Oh yeah, no, I'm not excluding zombie. I'm not excluding any colors from that swamp at all. Party affiliation means nothing to me anymore. I know where I lean, but professional politicians and party affiliation means about that much to me. And I'm disappointed to say that, but I think it's just the truth. And it's sad, it's sad that so many people have fought and died for this nation's longevity, and it's like it doesn't mean anything to the greedy or the powerful. It just means that they were able to accomplish things using the power, at their fingertips through the blood, sweat, and tears of their brothers and sisters. Oh, I agree, Bob. We can't give up. That's kind of why we prep. And I think that the way the world is right now, with lack of farming ability, lack of resources, etc. I think the thought of us catching a hot one are pretty slim, to be quite honest. I think that we're much more likely to catch a massive cyber attack that's crippling of the grid, the water treatment plants, a hydroelectric, and refineries. You do that, back to the dark ages. With the amount of resources this nation has and the amount of uranium that the southern superpowers need, wiping out all the resources in this country are not a good idea. But I think I think that the likelihood of us catching a massive cyber attack and hack is almost certain. What do you guys and gals think? Yeah, they're a weird bunch, aren't they, Animus? Yeah, they eat their own. But I would not let my foot off the gas for any of it. I think that most of y'all probably agree with that. You got that right, Jerry. I like it. I like it. Man, that's pretty nice to have a spring, man. That's for sure. Now, if we catch a hot one, that's it's a slow death, man. And Sucks we don't have any basements in Texas, you know. There are some out in East Texas, but it's slim pickings. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's woke up there, Bob, and it's a real mind-boggling thing to me because these guys have all been, in combat from Vietnam. I think Millie's an old Nam guy. Yeah, it's true, Simon. Well, tactical nukes are different now. It's true. But I mean, if you catch the wind right and the fallout, I don't know. I still think, you know, resources interruption is most likely, but I could be wrong. I know that the flip side of that coin is, um, if we can still launch our stuff, that's dangerous for you. I wouldn't mind it, Bob, if it was safe enough. Hell, it may be safer to be there. That's true. I mean, if they're sure they can take out our capabilities that way, Simon, that's a pretty good move. Supposedly, we're EMP proof. I don't know. I don't know really how you would tell for sure until it happened. See if your stuff worked. But I think at this point in time, it's funny, Jerry. I mean, just think about it. Anything exposed, you can't eat. I guess you'd have to wash the hell out of it. You maybe could eat something, but rivers, streams, lakes, wildlife, anything exposed would be, poison basically. Go watch the series Chernobyl. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. A buddy of mine got hired and went up to Virginia, and he's in that. He works for FEMA, and his job is to. He's a construction guy, and he actually works at Mount Weather. Do y'all know what Mount Weather is? Yep. If you don't, he's been put on notice by me that if he starts seeing people move in, he needs to let me know immediately. That's kind of where I'm at, Animus. That's kind of the way. That's why I say what I think may happen. But I think if they do enough damage and we can't launch, then the other thing is that we've got stuff out at sea too, and we can launch from there. So Yeah, I know Simon, right? Yeah. Yeah, I told him his ass is mine if he doesn't let me know. People start moving into that son of a bitch. But I thought that was pretty cool that he's actually working there. And I guess it's a constant, they're constantly, working on it. Yeah, Jerry, you just hope we're not asleep at the switch. So, how are the fuel prices in your areas? If you want to chime in. Still about two 2.90 to $3 in my area per gallon. Mm. But have y'all heard that we get 50% of our oil, our crude from Russia? Have y'all heard that before? Damn, Bob, that's kind of steep. That's pretty good, zombie. Tell you what, I don't know about y'all, but I don't live in the country. I live in a suburb, but um, I keep about 30, 35 gallons on hand of fuel. And, I hear you, Animus. If you do store fuel, don't forget to stabilize it with some type of additive, stable. Hey, Lewis, there's all kinds of additives you can get. Anyway, I thought that I would just say that. Now I do propane as well, and I keep probably on average 6 to 7, the 20 pounders on hand. But that's all good, Lake. Hey, DJ, good to see you. But if you just look at it, all this stuff is happening at the same time. It's crime, lawlessness. You have to ask yourself why. You have to ask why on a lot of this stuff. There you go, Simon. Good. Oh, I always got faith, Bob. But yeah, And it doesn't appear that potatoes learned a damn thing. But I did show everybody my water bladder, I think, that I got. I thought this was a pretty cool find. Goes in a wheelbarrow. 20-gallon bag. It's made in China, which sucks, but try to find something that ain't. But I think it was, 20 bucks on Amazon. And, I don't have a spring or anything like that, but I bought one of those for the house and then one for the ranch. But I thought that was a pretty cool find. The ones that go in the bathtub, they were out. That's the ones I really wanted. But, something's better than nothing. I mean, I've got the 5-gallon jugs and all that, and the pumps and all that stuff. But I wanted to have something a little bit larger for bulk. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it, Jerry? My cousin, he shot. I first got that thing, and we were out at the ranch, and my cousin had a bunch of pigs down at one of his feeders, and I said, "Hey," he said, "Hey, I'm gonna go hit this pig real quick." There was a really big one down there, and I just got there, and I said, "Here, take this," and just loaded it up with some buckshot. And he said the first shot he took hit this pig in the back legs and just snapped its back legs right in half. Oh yes, Animus. Hey, nationwide, the ignorant American voter is a dangerous thing. Well, Jerry, that particular thing right there wasn't even that expensive. It was around four. And it comes with two 5-round mags and a 3-round mag. And I had to buy that one that you see there is a 10-rounder, but it's actually made for another brand of the same style of pew pew, but it fits and it operates just fine. And those 10-round mags are about 30 bucks a piece. And they come out of a company called Gun Mag Warehouse, and I think they're in Coppell, Texas, which is north of Dallas. And don't get me wrong, I love my ARs and AKs and all that, and they're fun. But if something goes down, that's the one I'm getting right there. Yeah, I think it's worth it too, Jerry. And there's a company in the Dallas area, north of Dallas, in the Colony. It's a town, small little town, and there's a company called Rifle Gear, and you can check them out online. Riflegear.com. They have a California office and a Texas office, and they're complete with firing ranges, showroom, and all that stuff. But you can order online, and they'll ship it to you. Or if you're ever in the area, you can swing in there. And very customer friendly, easy to work with, quick in and out, lots of accessories and such. Pretty cool place. And they have an indoor range. You can do rifle, pistol, shotgun. And but yeah, when that crap hits the fan, that's the one I'm grabbing right there. And I'm not going to play around. And I've always felt that way about defense. You know, it's always good to have that capability, and you know, it sucks that the rounds are so heavy and this and that, but I'm used to it. It's just part of the deal. You know, nice, effective capabilities. I also keep a long gun in my vehicle now full time. Not this one, obviously, but I have a cheapy, 12 that I run, just a pump, tactical style, in my vehicle all the time. That's all right, Stover. I'm not worried about it. I mean, I got no help where I'm at, pretty much. As far as neighbors are concerned, I don't really care about the bang because it's going to be lights out, closed casket for whoever runs into it. Hey, Georgia Praise. Thanks for showing up. Welcome. Yeah, thanks for everybody that showed up tonight. Appreciated that. Well, I would say lone wolf just for a little bit, Animus. Certainly not my, preference. That's good, Jerry. That's all right. And when I go on road trips, I might throw that in there too. I like it. Yeah, I've got a couple of them. They got their place for sure. And you got to remember, my situation is I look at things in from a realistic perspective in a most likelihood scenario, right? Whatever happens is probably going to happen at night. You know how it is when you know how it is when it hits the fan, and it's not like the range, adrenaline and sweat and out of breath, that sort of thing. I want all the tactical advantage I can get, and I think, from my perspective, that thing right there does the trick. But you know what? You might have to be, Jerry, if something happens. That's what I'm saying. But it's different strokes for different folks. I just, that's my personal preference right there. And I'm not trying to judge anybody else. I'm just saying that I like options. When I throw on my duty belt and my Glock 17, I've got 49 rounds I carry all the time. And I'm not looking for trouble, But if somebody wants some, I can give them some. Well, you need one of these. You need one of these 12s too. Stover. Catch your lap. That's exactly what I run in mine, Lewis. Is it Lewis or Louis? I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. It does. It does. It does relieve it some, Jerry. But I got to lean into it pretty good. I mean, it's a little stronger than a typical shotgun, but it's very balanced. Yeah, that's what I do, Stover. I got do one. All right, cool. Thanks, Lake. But yeah, when I was a kid, we weren't the safest of you know youngsters out there. But I kind of went to high school, middle school, and high school. We moved to the country, and we used to open up shotgun shells and dump the lead out and get a candle going, and we would melt wax and put wet hot wax down in the hole of the shotgun shell and recrimp it, and we would make wax slugs out of those shells, and they would put a hole in a 55-gallon drum. And I'm not joking. It was totally insane. That's how powerful that was. A steel 55-gallon drum. Put a hole right through it. I don't recommend it. I don't think altering ammunition is a good or safe thing to do. Certainly not recommending anybody try that, but it was something that we did when I was a kid. But dumb kids, right? But if you ever run out of slugs, I guess it might be an option. God knows most of us have plenty of candles, right? um, yeah, crazy stuff. Um, and buckshot's expensive. I mean, it's about the Academy usually has them around here. They typically run. You can get a 5-pack of Remingtons 9 pellet for $7 or $8, so they're over $1 a piece, but very effective. I mean, hell, a good hot AR round ain't much cheaper. Well, another good thing about shotguns is you can breach a doorway. You can penetrate a vehicle. You can blow a windshield out. Animus, do you mean like currently or in the past? Yeah, we talked a lot about that earlier, Stover. Yeah, we did. We talked about that for, probably almost a good 30, 35 minutes. Um, my main topic tonight was, and it was sort of rhetorical, was why on a couple of things. One, why is Russia being given all this time and leeway to set their pieces in motion? I mean, I know it's their soil and they can kind of do what they want, but they don't seem to have gotten a lot of pushback, from us that we've seen, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, Sean. I don't mind posting it here. That's fine. But that was one, reason. One question why Stover was the amount of time and leeway they've been given to set their pieces in motion, and then weeks to months. I'm thinking that they've been doing this. Mm-hmm. That's right, Lake. Um, no, yeah, Jerry, I'm not basically saying that we should have, attacked them. I'm just saying that why did it seemed like it took forever for us to object to that, and then another one was, why would if Russia was really going to invade Ukraine, why would they telegraph everything? Why wouldn't they just do it? And then another why is Biden always chuckling and laughing when somebody brings up Russia Ukraine? He has always got a little shit-eating grin on his face and turns away and chuckles and giggles, and that's one thing. Another thing, that's three whys. And then a fourth why was, why is the Royal Navy escorting Russian naval vessels through the English Channel? Why are they even allowed to go through the channel currently? Exactly my point, Bob. I think that we're complicit. But again, why are we complicit? Yeah, I saw that, Simon. I'm telling you, all it takes is one soldier to discharge a round accidentally on either side, and it's a shit show from there. I hear you, Animus, but I'll go down in a pile of hot brass if I have to. Yeah, exactly, Jerry. You know, we've been called. Our bet's been called, and we've been going into all these theaters for decades, pushing people around without authorizations because we said we wanted to do it. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff that Vladimir says that I can't disagree with. Yeah, yeah, he's a real fancy boy, isn't he, Lewis? Sad. Basically, we are looking like a paper tiger right now. He smells blood in the water. Putin smells blood in the water. That's true, Bob. That's true, Bob. But you know what? You also had an actual attack that had taken place. We were doing it as a defensive measure. Exactly, Jerry. But yeah, there's four questions why there that I would, as a point of discussion, if you wanted to weigh in, that's fine. But Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a situation where, I mean, just from a strategic and geography perspective, the Europeans got to step up on this. We've been wiping their ass for decades, and we've been, they've been on the boob for a lot of decades from us, and then they wanted us out. Remember? And Germany had us, lining their economy with American dollars for a lot of decades after the war. Bases and posts over there, and people putting money into the economy and buying houses and buying cars, and then they wanted us out. Well, we got out. So, in my opinion, they need to pick up the slack, and they need to put their big boy pants on, and they need to step up. It's like the kid that turns 18 and wants to move out. Okay, well, you're a man now. Okay, well, you get to do man stuff, which is pay bills, provide for yourself, get a house, all that stuff. You're man enough to move out on your own, and you're man enough to support yourself. Sort of the way I feel about the Europeans on this deal, especially the Germans. NATO, a lot of people got it twisted, and NATO is just the United States and France, a lot of people think, in the UK. That's right, Jerry. Like 45 said, they've been taking advantage of us for decades. But all these damn, fancy pants Europeans need to step up and make a move. Yeah, I agree, Lewis. Yeah, but they're always waiting for us to take the lead, on all these problems, overseas. And that's another thing, I had zero problems with getting out of Afghanistan, but damn it, there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. And you can see it. You can watch the timeline from that moment till now. It's been an absolute free for all internationally for people doing what they want. And America ain't going to do a damn thing about it. And the real people that are going to really be threatened by this move by Russia is the Europeans, the Germans, because of the energy thing. And we can always go back to making our own, pulling our own oil out of the ground. But over there they got to have natural gas and heating oil to heat their homes. Yeah, we talk a good game, and that's why you keep hearing 46 talking about, oh, we're going to slap them with economic sanctions. You don't think they've thought about this? You don't think they can print their own money? Oh, we do it. Sure, post it, Simon. Yeah, they did, Bob, until I think China bought it all up. Oh yeah, they make good stuff, Bob. That's a fact. But I think that, like everything else, they were living high on the hog like we were, and got fat and happy. And sometimes we forget how to make our own shit. Thanks, Lake. I appreciate that. All the other vets do too. But um, that's good, Simon. Another thing, people, I know there's some older folks in here, my age and older. Um, you know, I'm sure you've already thought about this, but you know, I feel a responsibility to grab the grandkids and tell them the truth about what's going on. Of course, you got to do it at their, processing level, so you don't just go over their head. But these kids can't be left out in the cold like this. They got to be told the truth, and they got to be made aware of what the hell's going on at some level. I'll give you an example. My grandson, he's 8, and starting at about 6, uh, I always had a 3 hiding spots for him in the house, and it's hiding spot 1, 2, and 3, and each spot was a spot that I picked for different situations. And so hiding spot 1 might be for a tornado. Spot 2 might be for it might be for some type of chaos outside, and spot 3 is just you know for whatever. Anyway, he knows that if I call out a spot to go hide in, he's to go to that spot and wait till I or somebody in the family comes to get him out. And we practice it. I'll just he'll be eating his cereal and I'll tell him, go spot number 2, and he knows right where to go, and he knows what to do, which is keep his mouth shut and stay covered up. And I think that's important that we do that for them, because they live in a fantasy land too at a young age, and they probably should to a certain extent. But everybody's grandkids are different. You gotta make your own decisions with regards to that. And anyway, I think you owe it to your grandchildren to consider that, because we don't have time to come up with a plan in the middle of a chaotic event. Like I said many times, you don't get to pick the time and place of your incident. It's going to pick you, and you're either ready for it or you're not. You think that girl in New York thought she was going to get pushed in front of a damn train that morning? No, it just happened. But she probably was busy doing something else, not paying attention, and somebody got her from behind. It's happened so many times. I can't believe people don't stand with their back to a wall or something. I don't understand. there's some people, like people saying here, people are clueless and they don't pay attention. They're more worried about Facebook and TikTok than they are watching what the hell's going on around them. Yeah, absolutely. You don't get to choose when it happens. You could be in an intersection and a firefight breaks out, you know. One of the reasons I have a long gun in my vehicle because I want to be able to defend in times of an ambush or anything like that. And or if I get stranded somewhere, I can shoot a bird or something, too. I do keep some birdshot in my vehicle too, not just buckshot. There you go. Good. Wow, Sean. Wow, that's a lot. I did get your email, Sean, by the way, and I will respond to you for sure. Um, but it's not just what to do in case of an emergency. It's how to go fishing. How do you bait a hook? How do you catch a fish? How do you clean a fish? What does the Bible say about teaching a man to fish? You can feed him fish, or you can teach him how to fish, right? Yeah, I hear you, Lake. I'm one of those too. But you know what? You still learn the same. And you know, at the same time, you got to teach them work ethic too, right? I mean, I think you should. I was out cleaning weeds out of the flower bed one day, and the grandson was over, and I said, "Hey, why don't you go in and put your shoes on?" It was a nice spring day, and it's probably about 70 degrees outside. Perfect, really. I said, "Hey, why don't you go and put your shoes on?" And you want to? I said, "Do you want to go in and get your shoes on and come out here and help me do this garden work?" And he looked at me and he said, That's okay." And I said, You failed that test. Let me rephrase that. Go inside and put your shoes on and come out here and help me." Hey, Valerie. Yeah, that's cool, Animus. Email me. That's great. And if anybody misses my email and you got Lake has my email too. And Simon. I know this doesn't apply to everybody in here, but I am interested in discussing some possible mag opportunities in my area. It's something we can get together on if you're interested, and at least have a dialogue about it. Texas is a big state, but a couple hundred miles isn't that big a deal here, in my opinion. And another thing is, I don't know how some of these people in some of these blue controlled cities and states are doing it, man. Because I mean, how much more can people take? I know Lake lives upstate New York. It's a lot different than the city, but still, taxes are taxes, and freedoms are freedoms. And like I said before, I couldn't keep up with the amount of moving vans I saw last time I went down south to Austin, San Antonio. I lost count. There were so many, and cars too from out of state, Minnesota. I mean, I damn near counted every state, I think, in just a 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive. but there's a lot of people that are evacuating, you know. That's a true statement, Jerry. Um, but these guys and gals up here, Border Patrol, they're catching hell. They can't win. And you got the governor of Texas had to deploy the Department of Public Safety, which is our state troopers, down there. I know Lake, and I've heard it's beautiful up there. I've never been up there personally. I've seen photos in your videos though, and it looks awesome up there. I know some people that from there as well. Um, but you know, I'm sure it's like a different world. But I don't know how the hell some of these people do it. I mean, it's got to be like being, emancipated when you leave a lockdown, you know, no freedom town like New York City. And listen, I don't have a problem with people coming to Texas at all. I really don't. As long as they work, pay taxes, and vote the right way, I got no problem with. We got plenty of room for patriots. And people are thinking that they're discounting Beto as for the governor's office already, and the dude got like $7.5 million in 48 hours. He's building a hell of a treasure chest, and Cruz barely beat him last time, but I think 2 percentage points is not a lot of votes. Hey, Priscilla, thanks. And don't think that it's going to stay red. I'm telling you, they've been working on this for a while, and all the big cities in Texas are all blue. Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston, they're all blue. It's the rural areas that kept Cruz in office. And Cornyn's on his way out too for all the bullshit he pulled. He's gonna get primaried. And Cruz better watch it too. He almost did himself in a couple weeks ago with his little comments on the 6th. And we got to take, Beto and his base seriously, because this would be a real pickoff if they could do it. And I don't take him for granted at all. I think, and then Babbitt's getting primary big time. They're coming after him because they see his weaknesses, and he's done okay on the border for the most part, but he's got some flaws. He's got some mistakes, and I don't know who I'm going to vote for yet. I haven't decided, but I'm just going to tell you, keep an eye on Beto, because Austin and all these big cities, it's all about numbers. And if the rural vote doesn't come out, then we could lose Texas. I'm telling you. Well, and I don't know. It's part of it is the move-ins. The transplants that are coming in here, and part of it is the chokehold that the left has had on the public school system. Here and nationwide, in a lot of the big cities for decades now, and then now all these kids vote. Yeah, I do too, Simon. If it wasn't for the rural areas, I'm telling you, Texas would already be blue. The fascination that the left has with relaxed criminal penalties is beyond the pale for me. I don't get it. And it's odd because they seem to have this moral superiority complex. Like, you know, gangsters and criminals aren't going out and standing in line to vote. Okay. So why do they think that they need to cater to these people? Why do they think they need to protect them? All right, get them. Get them. Boom. Yeah, Simon, right? Um, and I'm sure everybody in here is big on security at home, but I still don't understand how some people cannot, at a minimum, have a peephole in their front door. Can y'all explain that one to me? Yeah, I like Colonel West Okie. He's been through some stuff lately, but I like him. I got him, Simon. Um, but I'll tell you what, I don't know how people can live like that. I mean, I've got a smart doorbell and all that, and I have a big no soliciting sign. It's all good. It's all good, Lake. And I love the microphone feature on that doorbell because whether I'm home or not, I can talk on it. It's pretty awesome. And I got a big no soliciting sign up, and they still violate it. I'm like, dude. I mean, I know that times are tough, and you might not have got a real education, but can you read? Hey, Denise. Exactly, John. It'll never happen to me. Why would somebody do that? Really? Do you watch the news? My gosh. I mean, you would think that here's the thing with rampant crime, eventually people are going to stop going out and spending money, right? They're going to stop going out completely. So that kills your tax base, right? Eventually people are going to move out of your area, which kills your tax base even further. See California. Okay. I see now. Okay, Denise. I guess we bored Bob. He had to go to bed. It is kind of late, isn't it? Um, there you go, Jerry. We got a little Jack Russell. She's hell on wheels. But, if you have a smart doorbell, use the damn thing. I'm not touching that, Denise. Um, but, I'll tell them, if they ring my bell, I'm like, I'm not interested. I need you to leave my property. You know, you got to be able to tell people no. And, I think people get caught up in their lives and the kids and grandkids and, you know, their phones, YouTube, and we kind of take our eye off the ball, and we get sloppy. And I even find myself getting sloppy from time to time, and I know better. But at least I know I know the things that I need to work on. And for those of you that have, live in the city or live in a suburb, and you have a automatic garage door, I've talked about this before, and a good security measure that you probably should implement as times continue to get further and further chaotic is to not automatically, when you go to leave, if you park in the garage, before you just take off and open the garage door all the way before you're securing your vehicle, why don't you go ahead and get in your vehicle and lock your door, then hit your garage door button on your visor or wherever you keep it, and then start your car and back out, because at that point you're at least secure in your vehicle and you can back out. There's been some incidents where people will hide around the corner, of the garage door itself and wait for somebody to open the door, and they're in the house. It's that simple. And it's a good habit to be in. And the same thing when you come home, you open you pull up to the driveway, you open your garage door, you pull your car in, you turn your car off and hit the garage door button from inside your vehicle where you're secure. Let the door come down, watching your mirrors, making sure nobody rolls up underneath the door, and then you get out of your vehicle and you're safe again. So you've got a barrier around you all the time, you know, and it's something that I think it's just a habit forming, like any other security measure that you implement in your life. You know, varying your routes, paying attention where you park. Don't get boxed in a intersection. Keep your eyes open. Check your mirrors constantly. Um, Keep things out of plain view. Pay attention. Head on a swivel. All that stuff. It's huge. I mean, and again, you have to train yourself. You have to train yourself to implement these things in your life. But once you do it and you get proficient at it, it's just like anything else. You just do it. It's like me, and carrying a firearm. I don't even think about it. I just go put it on and I go. I've been down the street before and noticed something was off, and I felt that I was like, damn, I forgot it. And before I got out of the neighborhood, I turned around and went back and got it. Yeah, that's a good call, Denise. Good call. Yeah, there you go. Good. Good looking out. Another thing too. Hey Lisa, glad you showed up. Another good thing too is if you have trustworthy neighbors, and you really need to make sure that they're trustworthy, and you only get that by feeling them out and you know talking to them and getting to know them. But if you go out of town, I have a couple neighbors that I converse with quite often, and we know about each other's lives, and it's nothing weird, but we'll tell each other when we're out of town so we can keep an eye out on each other's place. That's just how it goes. That's true, Denise. That's true. But if we go on a trip or whatever, to let my neighbors know, hey man, keep an extra eye out on the house. There may be one person that comes over and they know who that person is to like feed the dogs and this and that. But excuse me. Um, it's just a good idea, I think, if you've got trustworthy neighbors that you can count on to, you know, have that open communication. But yeah, most people are clueless. They don't have a they don't have a chance in hell. It's really just the way I think some of us are wired. Some of us are just wired and been in the military, been in law enforcement, or lived on a farm, or just been lived in a big city, and we just kind of know what to look out for. And some people just are destined to be victims, unfortunately. That's right, it's Valerie. That's true. And another thing too is learn how to back into your parking spot. You'd be surprised how much you can really see if you back into a parking spot. And I like to back in on the outside, on the sides where I don't have anybody behind me. I always like to leave myself an out. That's funny, Denise. Animus, I don't know. I've heard that there could be some issues with that, but I don't really know. I don't I don't get caught up in all that, but I mean any app you have could be manipulated, I guess. Yeah, good Lake. That's awesome. That's right, Lake. Good job. A lot of times I'll back into a parking spot and I'll just sit there for a couple minutes and just watch and just scan the parking lot to see what's going on. That was pretty funny, wasn't it, Simon? I won't tell y'all what we call Navy people in the Army, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'll sit there and I'll scan the parking lot, see what's up. If I don't like something, I'll relocate my vehicle. But it's that I'm that involved. And exactly, Jerry, exactly. And I'll tell you what, I've got, my grandson's with me. I'll have him watch too. That sucker's got a good pair of eyes, man. Them young kids, they got good eyes. I'll take him hunting with me. He's like my little scout. He can spot movement way before I can. Their little eyes are perfect. But I'll have him, I'll say, hey, does anything look wrong with that situation over there? Anything look funny about that? Just to kind of check him out, see where his mind's at. He'll surprise you. It's kind of like, what was it that happened? Oh yeah, it was the Afghanistan thing. I was trying to draw a comparison to see what he thought about the withdrawal. And I kind of equated it to a fire. I said, hey, let me ask you a question. If the building is on fire, what do you do first? Do you get out or do you just wait? Anyway, it was something like that. But um, he got it right. He was pretty sharp. You gotta sit with him and talk to him. The little friends. They get taught weird stuff by their friends at school or on wherever they go to daycare or whatever. But hopefully everybody's got their grandkids on the same page. He's not perfect, but he's getting better. Mm. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Jerry. But I got in the habit of just carrying it. I don't even think about it. I don't give a damn about a sign on the door either. I mean, is that a good reason to die? No. Again, we don't get to pick the time and place of our incident. It's going to pick us. I mean, it could be anywhere, anytime, anything. You could be, dropping off a letter at the post office. Hell, I saw where one of the Democratic senators got carjacked in D.C. yesterday. Some sweet justice, isn't it? No, I hear you, Jerry. No, I'm sure that if you did it for a week, you'd be in the habit. But anyway, I just, everybody's not made to carry a firearm. I get it. Some people just aren't going to be comfortable with it. They're not trained, and in that circumstance, it's probably a good idea for you not to do that until you are trained. But once you get comfortable and you feel safe, to me, it's an empowerment tool that you have, and you can get yourself out of a jam should it come to that. Of course, you always look for a way out and try to be smart about putting yourself in vulnerable positions. But you know, I want the option, and I pray to God I never have to do that. But the odds of it happening today are greater than it was 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. I think. And of course, I try not to put myself in positions where I'm going to, have to do that. But again, I can't control everything else. I can just control what I do. I mean, you could be sitting in traffic and like that little girl in New York City that got shot in the face, 5 months old or something like that. I mean, what a damn shame. It does, Lake. It does become part of you. It's like carrying, it's like a watch or your ring, your wedding ring or whatever. And I will say this, I do, unless I'm at the ranch, I do carry concealed. I don't want people knowing. I'm not trying to show everybody I got a gun. But I will advise anybody that's not regularly carrying, you need to carry something that's comfortable and that you're going to be okay with wearing. Comfortable, you'll wear it, you'll carry it. I will say women have all the cool stuff though. They got the purses that have a holster in them. Hell, you don't even have to pull the damn gun out. You just stick your hand in your purse and shoot. I'm not big on blades. I'm not big on blades. I got them. I got them around, but blades was never my, go-to thing. I had a guy one time who was saying, "You need to get a blade. You need to get a switchblade. You need to do this and that." And he's like, "Man, don't you want to have a knife?" And I'm like, "Well, I have a little pocket knife, that I carry just for regular stuff, But uh, that's funny, Lake. But I told him, I said, he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "What if you have a knife fight?" And I'm like, Dude, if I have to have a knife fight with somebody, I made some really bad choices up to that point. I am not paying attention or something." And I said, "Man, if I get in a knife fight, I probably deserve to be cut." But yeah, some people are fascinated with blades. I mean, I get it. It's a handy tool to have. I just always preferred the lead slingers. Anybody else have anything to add? I would keep stacking the fried rice too. Exactly, Jerry. The only thing I need a knife for is to gut a deer. Oh yeah, nice, Jerry. Exactly, Sean. What's your poison there, Denise? What's your poison, if you don't mind sharing? That's right, Lake. I got you, Jerry. Yeah. Whew. All right. All right. If you like, if you like tequila, try some ranch water. It's one of the big things down here now. You got to use the blue agave though. Very low calories. No Yankee stuff. Now, we got some Yankees in here. Easy. All right. Okay. Yeah, I've never made any fried rice, Jerry, but I typically just buy my fried rice. It's funny, Jerry. Liquid courage. I'll tell you one of the best things I've had recently in the winter, and I've never had it before, but I just sort of threw it together, was some hot apple cider, like tea, with a shot of Fireball in it. Really good. It's kind of like a hot toddy. Oh, okay, Jerry. You're talking about real fried rice. All right. I was talking about the lead variety. Damn, Sean, you're a big spender. Oh, there you go. All right, Lewis. Well, hell, they gotta make a flat firearm that's 22. It's damn near like a cell phone. Yeah, for those of y'all that haven't tried the ranch waters, they're really good. Really simple. Ice, ice, tequila, uh, usually the Topo Chico water and maybe some lime, twist of lime or lime juice. That's it. Oh, here's the big question. I know this is probably going to start a fight, and I'm going to do a video on my recipe pretty soon since it's still winter. I'm going to show y'all how to make real Texas chili. And it ain't got beans in it. I'm sorry, but if you're putting beans in chili, you're making a stew, not chili. And I know, it's America. You make your chili how you want to, but I'm just telling you, real chili doesn't have beans in it. All these people with blades in here, man. You're going to have a knife fight, you're going to cut somebody. Are you referring to my chili lake? Yeah, it is, Simon. Damn, I don't know why that's so hard for people to figure out. Uh, yeah, I do like pork ribs better, to be honest. We have Texas barbecue is pretty much really light on the sauce. It's more smoked instead of sauce is where we get the flavor from down here. You get up around Memphis and Kansas City, they like to mop it pretty good. We typically have our sauce on the side or just lightly sauced here. Yeah, I like pork ribs the best too. Oh, here we go. Jerry's gonna start a damn war up in here. I don't know. I don't mind the other barbecues, honestly. It's really about the sauce intake. I want to be able to taste the way it was cooked and not camouflaged in sauce. So I typically like the sauce on the side. Yep, we use mesquite. That's right, Lake. You saw my video on that. Yeah, KC barbecues. It's okay if you get the sauce on the side, but man, it is just smothered in sauce and drowned. I'm like, golly, man. And I'll tell you all another thing too, if you want to. Yeah, hickory's good too. We use hickory down here too, some Jerry as well. Typically mesquite, hickory, pecan. Um, the real South. Yeah, okay. I believe you. Another thing too, I'm gonna tell you all, if you make chili, everybody thinks that you need ground meat in chili, but I used to think the same thing. Um, one of the best chili recipes I've ever had was the burnt ends of a brisket. Just diced and use that. in combination with some more diced like chuck or just the burnt ends as the meat. Oh my God, it is so good. You got to try that sometime. With your chili recipes, try to add the burnt ends to your chili. You will not regret it. I'm telling you. But I've always, or not always, I recently was told by a renowned Texas chef that you never should grind um, the best way to prepare your meat for your chili is to dice it. And I've tried it and it does work better. No, yeah, I said I don't mind other people's barbecue at all, Valerie. I just like I don't like a lot of sauce, and it sort of comes with a lot of sauce on it. So I have them. Oh wow, that's a whole another realm, Jerry. It all depends on the weight, of course. You can marinate it, not marinate it. You know, again, I'm a big fan of like a dry rub and obviously the right wood for flavor and heat, which is mesquite. Mesquite burns very hot. If you do run into some mesquite wood, um, sounds like you're going to use hickory though, and I'm not sure how hickory burns. I think it's a semi-hot wood. They're small. Man, you better cook them slow then, and lots of water in a tub or something, a cup or something down below. But um, you want to have a pliable brisket, where it'll, somewhat being it's not hard as a rock, and trim it up as best you can, but leave some of the fat on it, of course, for flavor. But yeah, dry rub and just get your wood right. Just make sure you've got some moisture. And I think um, what I typically do is I will smoke it in the open on pretty high heat for the first couple of hours, and then low and slow and foil the rest of the way. So I would say hot for the first couple of hours, low and slow for the finish out, and foil. But there's a lot of different videos. Check out Franklin's Barbecue. Sure, Jerry. And down around the Austin area, it's a barbecue joint called Franklin's. It's very popular. Like if you're not in line by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to get any food. Yeah, there's all kinds of dry rubs out there. But save those burnt ends, Jerry, and put them in your chili, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. It's crazy. So it's so good. So good. You can't go wrong with the burnt ends and chili. I'm telling you right now. Well, folks, we've been at it for 2 hours. Looks like we're having a few drop off. Hopefully, Valerie, that's funny. I don't want to run everybody in the ground and keep this thing interesting. But I appreciate everybody showing up and the mods coming in. Lake, Simon, appreciate y'all showing up. And Yeah, I left my email up there for any of you all that want to email me. That's great. We can keep the dialogue going. That's awesome. We're always here to help each other. Oh, awesome, Jerry. Good job. Good job. And we'll keep in contact. But yeah, please email me if you want to, and we can keep in touch that way and keep the dialogue going. But I appreciate everybody showing up, and we'll continue to do it and keep those preps. Keep those preps at the forefront and keep praying. We're probably going to need it. So with that, keep prepping, stack it deep, and always remember, long live the Republic. Good night, y'all, and thanks for coming.